I got control of all my demons, I've been king ever since. I'm on a totally different frequency, it's too evident. I'm in a new element, I'm on some you ain't legit. On another level, hungrier than ever, like I'm locked into the...
What's good? It's your boy Jerome, aka J Got Body, back with another episode on the Mind Gym Experience. Now, today I want to talk about the neurotransmitter dopamine and how optimizing your dopamine levels is going to help you build muscle and burn fat faster than you ever thought possible. So, what dopamine is, it's an important chemical messenger in the brain that has many functions. It's involved in rewards, motivation, memory, attention, and even regulating body movements. When dopamine is released in large amounts, it actually creates feelings of pleasure, reward, which leads to motivating you to repeat a specific behavior. But in contrast, low levels of dopamine are linked to reduced motivation and decreased enthusiasm for things that would normally excite most people. People always ask me, like, Jerome, how do you stay so happy and excited all the time? It really just comes down to optimizing this neurotransmitter dopamine, because when you do that now, you cannot help but feel good. At a cellular level, you feel enthused about almost anything. Even the little things in life you can appreciate more when your dopamine is optimized. Now, like I was mentioning just now, when it comes to dopamine, when it gets released in large amounts, it leads to repeating a specific behavior. And this can lead to addictions and bad habits that lower your dopamine level, which can cause a whole bevy of adverse side effects that will prevent you from, living the life you want to live. So now, that's kind of beyond the scope of this episode, but I do want to talk about how dopamine is going to help with your hormones to build muscle and burn fat. So when you have proper levels of dopamine, when the neurotransmitters are firing at an optimal level, you're going to get a testosterone boost. Now, testosterone actually affects dopamine levels. So the higher your test, the more dopamine you're going to have. And vice versa. The more dopamine you have, the higher your testosterone. So both of these hormones affect each other. Right? Dopamine, what it's also going to do for you, it's going to enhance your libido. It's going to enhance your sex drive. And there's a lot of people that say their testosterone levels have gone up 200+% just from optimizing dopamine. Now, obviously, this is going to lead also to fat loss, because dopamine, it favors energy expenditure in the body and the brain. Now, the brain uses 20% of the energy of the body. So meaning that when you're doing any day-to-day tasks like work, maybe in school, working out, training, practice, whatever you're doing, your brain is using 20% of that energy. So even a slight boost in the energy levels of the brain can mean you're going to be burning more calories. So if the brain is being used more, you're burning more calories, which leads to more fat loss and is also going to ramp up your metabolism. So mixing that with a calorie deficit, you're going to progress faster. All right. Now, I'm always preaching about calorie deficit, calories in, calories out. Yes, this is vital, but you can get more out of your workouts. You can get more out of your dieting if you optimized a neurotransmitter like dopamine, right? Why get 10% of the results you can get, being disciplined enough to be consistent with your routine, when you can get 50 to 70% of the results, right? I mean, it's a small price to pay. Another reason why dopamine is going to help with fat loss is because it actually suppresses appetite. Food, like anything else, is an addiction. So if you have feel like you have the tendency to eat, grab for this, especially carbohydrates, sugary foods, you grab for this chocolate bar, you grab for those pancakes, you grab for this Coca-Cola, you're probably low on dopamine. And in order to give yourself a temporary boost, an unnatural boost, you grab food every so often, which obviously can lead to obesity, depression and other types of side effects that we can easily avoid by changing our lifestyle. Now, in addition to that, people who have healthy dopamine balance are very driven and have that tunnel vision type of behavior. I can guarantee you, any person you look up to, whether it's an athlete, business person, whether it's, I don't know, motivational speaker, anyone you look up to who has that drive, I guarantee you their dopamine is optimized for success because they have that tunnel vision type of behavior. And now, as it pertains to you and your goals, because to be honest, if you've struggled in the past to burn fat or build muscle, it's not really your fault. You didn't have this information, but now you do. So this is the crossroads moment for you, right? To finally make the change. Now, when I tell you, that dopamine is going to create more of a tunnel vision behavior, imagine now how less likely you're going to be to fall into temptations during your diet. You're gonna be able to just go to the supermarket, get what you want, and then leave. Because now you're gonna have discipline, and discipline is freedom. Discipline is literally the foundation of any kind of progression. If you don't have discipline, you're not gonna progress. But we don't need to make discipline this difficult thing. We can make it easy, right? Just again by changing our lifestyle. Now, another benefit of raising your dopamine is you're going to increase growth hormone. So now growth hormone is basically responsible for actually burning fat. Bodybuilders, they've been actually using growth hormone for decades, to prep for competitions. Now, I'm not saying you're planning on going on stage or anything like that. But imagine now if you're not even looking to get as ripped as bodybuilders are, and it's actually harder to get ripped than it is to lose 20, 30 pounds when you're already at a higher fat amount. So these guys would do this to prep for their contests and actually lose body fat and build muscle. Now, obviously they would be taking growth hormone, so there'd be synthetic supplements or synthetic products they'd be taking in order to release more growth hormone. Now, you and I don't need to do that. Obviously, we're not going to get a similar result. We're not going to boost our growth hormone 400%. I don't even know if those supplements do that for them, but we're going to get enough that it's going to be a good asset to what we're trying to accomplish with our physiques. Now, another thing too, it's going to improve your motor learning. So basically what motor learning is, it's the process of acquiring a skill by which the learner has to practice, assimilate, and refine their techniques, making it eventually automatic, right? Anybody who plays basketball, hockey, any type of sport, piano, any instrument, they have they follow a motor learning process, right? And dopamine is going to help you improve that. Everything goes hand in hand. The tunnel vision, bam, now you can focus. But the great thing is now you actually, you can focus and get good at something because you understand now that your motor skills are going to improve. Your ability to actually learn things improves. And imagine when it pertains to exercise, obviously it ain't playing the freaking piano, but there are still things that you need to do, like form, technique, that would prove motor learning to be, or rather following a motor learning process to be an asset to reaching your fitness goals, right? Now, another thing too, like I can't stress it enough. I know I keep talking about the tunnel vision, but another benefit that kind of branches off from that of optimizing your dopamine levels is motivation and drive. Motivation and drive. So motivation is what's going to help you take the first step, and it will keep you committed. You know what? No, I'm going to take a step further. Motivation will help you take the first step, and then discipline will keep you committed to finishing, right? Doing what you need to do when you need to do it, whether you feel like it or not. Now, whatever it is you want to do in life, dopamine is going to be responsible for keeping you engaged, and it's going to help you, I guess, have a urge for taking action because you're going to get pleasure out of it. If your dopamine is not optimized, you will not get pleasure out of taking certain actions that you know you need to take. You need to lose 20 pounds, you know you need to take action. But if the dopamine isn't regulated, then you won't take action regardless of how important it is to you, your children, your family, your friends, anybody. If you at a cellular level do not feel motivated or do not feel like you're going to get a sense of pleasure from making the change, you will not take action. Guys, optimizing dopamine is so vital. Now, I'm going to, of course, give you guys some tips you can follow, some supplements you can take that are going to help with improving your dopamine. So one is tyrosine. L-tyrosine is an amino acid. It's the precursor to dopamine. It's actually converted into the body through hydrolase enzyme to levodopa, which will then be converted to dopamine through decarboxylase enzyme. Now, I know it's a lot of science stuff, but basically what happens is it gets converted into the body, it goes through the blood-brain barrier and gets converted into dopamine once you ingest it. And there's actually foods you can eat that are filled with tyrosine, like ground beef, nuts, green leafy vegetables, beans, wheat. Now, I don't recommend that if you're losing fat, but those are some foods that can increase tyrosine. Watermelon, sure there's obviously others. Now, when I say that you should supplement, I don't mean now you can have a whole bunch of bad habits, supplement your diet, and then, things just change. There's a book I read called Essentialism. You might want to pick that up. And the whole premise of the book is it's not about what you add to your life, it's about what you cut. So if you know you have addictions to things, vices that are holding you back, cut those out first for an extended period of time. That's when you're going to be then ready to add these supplements, all right? L-theanine is another supplement you can take. It's amino acid found in green tea. It creates an alert state of relaxation without drowsiness, so it'll keep you more upbeat. It's actually known, again, for the ability to cross the blood-brain barrier and increase dopamine levels in the brain. There's animal studies you can check out that show L-theanine also increases brain serotonin and GABA. So it's going to have an antidepressant, anti-anxiety type of effect. It reduces mental and physical stress and leads to improvement in learning, memory in humans and animals. So you just take a single dose. Rhodiola is another popular plant that's going to help basically with reducing stress. So you're going to be able to handle stress better. It's going to enhance the stability of dopamine. It's also going to basically improve the central nervous system. So now when your central nervous system, look at that there. I'm out here stuttering. When your central nervous system is optimized, now you get a better muscle-mind connection when you're working out. So that's going to be another boost to your workouts. Now, there are other foods you can take. Zinc, vitamin B6. They're all necessary for dopamine synthesis. And you can get them at any vitamin shop. I also have a supplement. It's called Lean Body X. Has a lot of these ingredients: rhodiola, tyrosine, synephrine, ginseng, caffeine. A lot of things that are going to help reduce your stress and boost your dopamine so that, you can be the best, healthiest version of yourself. Now, if that was interesting to you, definitely send me an email, jgotbody@gmail.com, and I can definitely send you a bottle right to your own home. I do hope this helps. If you do need any help, please feel free to ask me any questions because I'm here to serve. Peace.